So, are your insecurities overshadowing your faith? Welcome to the Daily Devo. I am Vince Miller. This week, we are in 1 Samuel chapter 8. I've titled this chapter, When Our Insecurities Define Us. And today, our text is from the first three verses of chapter 8. Let me read them, and then we'll dive in. It states, When Samuel became old, he made his sons judges over Israel. The name of his firstborn son was Joel, and the name of his second, Abijah, and they were judges in Beersheba. Yet his sons did not walk in his ways, but turned aside after gain. They took bribes and perverted justice. So a few observations here for you. First, as we read these verses, we are immediately drawn to the comparison between Eli and his sons and Samuel and his sons. Now, many commentators have attempted to dissect the similarities and differences, but one detail stands true. Samuel was a faithful follower and judge of Israel all the days of his life. Second observation. As a parent and spiritual leader myself, these verses especially cause me to pause and reflect. When I read them, I immediately insert myself into the story and play forward the tapes of my children. I think about my daughter and my two sons and my son-in-law, knowing that more than anything in this life, I want them to know Jesus Christ. In fact, I hope what is said here about Samuel's sons will never be told about my own children. I also realize, though, that my children have to make their own choices about Jesus, and that I have a spiritual responsibility to lead them to Jesus. But I am not spiritually responsible for their decision for Jesus. So let me just pause and say, for all you listening today, this is true for you as well. You have a spiritual responsibility to, not for, your children. And I know parents that are listening right now to this devotional who have children who do not fear or follow the Lord. Maybe your child has turned aside and your heart is heavy for them right now. All I can tell you is that you should never give up hope. So here are 4 things you could do today. First, you can pray for them again today. Second, you can speak the truth to them again today. Third, you can live obediently to Jesus Christ and pray this impacts them again today. And fourth, you can hold on to hope. And if this is you today at the end of the devotional, I would love to be able to pray for you and your children. But back to the text. 2 factors create tension in this chapter. The first factor is Samuel's old age as a judge and leader. The second factor is the looming reality that Israel lacks a suitable successor because his sons are unjust judges. Now, don't you think it's just slightly interesting that old age and disobedient children create a leadership concern, which gives the opportunity to wedge God out of the nation? Don't you think that is interesting? I mean, you cannot make this up. The timing of this text and what is happening in our country are fascinating occurrences. These 2 factors in this text and chapter open the doors to all kinds of insecurity about the future. They create a swelling concern that is not resolved by faith in God, but faith in man, which will become the appointment of the first king of Israel. God is going to be edged out as the king, and the people will insist on a king like other nations. And it's right here in human history where the theocracy ceases and the monarchy rises. Not a good thing. You know, leadership insecurities can cause people to think irrationally and act disobediently. This is true in a nation, in a business, in a church, and in a family. The important thing is to anticipate the insecurities or acknowledge them when they occur and find the right solutions for them. Looking ahead in this chapter, the insecurities anticipated create a bit of a national crisis, which leads the people to find the wrong solution to the wrong problem, which complicates their relationship with God. And that's where we're headed in this chapter. But to pause again, let me just pray for you today. God, I pray for all the parents with children right now who do not believe in you even still today. Please draw them back to you. Help us to be faithful in praying for them, speaking the truth to them, and modeling obedience. And God, in all of our insecurities, lead us to faith in you and not faith in humanity. Amen. I love you guys. I pray this has blessed you today. If it has, share it with someone else, and I'll see you right back here again tomorrow.